Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Alright, well, next thing we need to do is get this thing to center up on the shaft, and that's not going to happen with these sleeves the way they are. If you look at it, the sleeve, there's a lot of room because I wanted to leave room to weld. But at this point, what we want to do is find the exact center of this, so that when the cap goes on, it goes on dead center, and then we can grind our perimeter to fit it. So I think probably the best idea here is to go ahead and take a sleeve and cut it. Just put a little step into it right here on the lathe, just enough so that it has a place to sit up against this hole. Let's just see what size the hole is, and I'm betting it's entirely possible it's not a square hole or a round hole. And if that's the case, we got trouble. Not a whole lot of trouble, but some. Of course, we can't get in there. Nope. All right, we'll do it this way. No, it's round. That's good. So we're sitting at about two, 420. All right, so we're going to just take a little step, maybe just as far as this chamfer is down. And the other thing we have to do is tighten these guys up, of course. All right, let's take it back over to the lathe and see what we can. All right, we're over on the small lathe because mainly I don't want to change the jaws of the chuck, because I think we're going to need it at some point in the near future. So we'll just work with this, and that's a nice square surface. Yes. And let's bring it back a little bit. There we go. And there we go. We don't need the gears. And it looks like this point is dulled out a little bit, so we'll have to take it over and sharpen it. Oh yeah, I would say it's pretty burnt. We'll be back. All right, let's put it back on the shaft. I guess we better loosen them up. This one wants to go this way, yes. And this one wants to go that way. Looks good. Now open this up, drop these in. Come on, there we go. Okay, that's hitting just right. Okay, this is in nice and tight. Now, come up on top. We're going to drop this one down. Yeah, of course. This edge is a little bit boogered up. Let's get a file and just kind of clean it up. There we go. Now we bring our rib or our cut line over to this cut line, and these don't match up perfectly. Definitely not that way. That's pretty close. Now let's come down, look straight down on this thing, if we can. Something like that. And we can see that this part right here probably is just about perfect, but over here it gets a little close. So I'm thinking first thing we want to do is mark this, and we're going to go ahead and put an arrow right there. Actually, you know what? Let's do it in the place where we don't have to grind it. There's our mark, and here's our other mark. This is side 2, side 2. Now, let's see what we have for room. Yeah, that's just about as far as we can go. So we want to cut a little bit off here. Something about like that. Let's take it over to the sander and do that. All right, well, and first, before we do anything like that, this disc is pretty worn out, so let's get rid of it. Put a fresh disc in. Come on. That looks good. All right, so let's take it away. Now we're definitely going to need headphones. All right, let's give it a look and see what it's going to look like. Set it up on our mark. And we've got a nice connection right here, all the way on this side, but this side looks a little bit too close. So it looks like from about right here to about right here. We're going to take it down just a little bit more. And we'll be back. If we're going to get any kind of decent bead at all, we're going to get it with this. That's about as consistent as you can get it. Let's come around to this side. That's not too bad. So, let's do the other side and see what we can come up with. Okay, we got the half shell torn apart. Now we're going to just loosen this up a little bit. And slide this whole thing. Actually, you know what we can do is just turn it around. No, actually slide it, because this side is much more less boogered up. Okay. And this is side one, I believe it is. This one goes down right like that. Okay, so we've got two similar pieces of metal. We got 1/4 inch and we got this 1/8 inch stuff, and I'm going to do a couple of test welds just to get the temperature right. We already know that my regular welding is too much for that. So let's go ahead and try it out with something a little bit less. Looks pretty good. Let's go with just a little bit less. That looks even better. Try just a little bit less. Wow, that looks really good. Look at that. Maybe you can see it from that distance. Big weld, medium weld, a nice small one. Now we're not looking for strength here. We're just looking to hold that little plate in place. And I think that's pretty good. Now the one thing I see is our feed is a little bit off. So let's try it again. Yeah, that looks pretty good. If we can stay with that, I'll be happy. Let me give you a close-up of these welds. Can you see them? Somewhere in there. You can see progressively each weld got a little bit smaller in size, and this one here is the total finish. That's going to look good. So we're going to preheat our tube and come back in and alright, but the thing we want to do first is we want to come in, take this off and break those tacks, these two tacks here, and I think we can just bend them. Boy, they're strong. Let's swing it around. We put it in the vise, and I think we'll break them that way. Yeah. There we go. That looks good. Now I'm going to go back up to the grinder and get rid of these edges. Okay, we got everything sitting nice and evenly. And what I'm going to do is come in and tack about a ½ an inch away from that split, because that split we don't want to touch. So a ½ an inch away, and then when I come in with the bead, I will just pass over the tack just a little bit. Okay. So okay, we've got this nice and heated up. I can barely touch it. Good and solid. Now what we have to do is we have to come in and do it all in one pass. Well, first we're going to tack. I need to have something to set my arm on here. Let's see if we can find something. That looks pretty good. And since we're going to try to get this really nice, I'm going to clean the glass. Gee, there's a concept, huh? Clean the glass so you can see a little bit. Well, it's not glass anymore, it's plastic, but you get the drift. Alright, well, we put it on the weld positioner, and the problem with it is, and I just don't have all the kinks worked out in it yet, and that is that it travels just a little too fast. That's about as slow as I can get it, which is pretty slow, but still, it's got issues. Well, it's pretty much of a mess, but we'll grind it down and redo it, and grind it down some more and redo it until we come up with something decent. So that's it for the day for me. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, the welds didn't quite go as well as I wanted them to. I mean, it's pretty good. Certainly good welds, but not pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the little gaps that were left behind, and then we're going to come back in and grind the whole thing down and make it look nice. Because that's what all this work is about, right? Making it look nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to let this cool off and then we'll come back and grind it. And what we're going to grind it like is right here. We ground that last night and it came out pretty nice. So, let her cool down. We'll be back. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
How's it going with you? Grinding the shit out of it.
Right away. Ouch.
Ouch. Stop it.
It's starting to look good.
Nice.
Good as can be.
Huh?
Good as can be.
Yeah. Huh. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take a
Well,
break.
it's 9 o'clock. Imagine.
You slept till 9?